So I know I just filmed a book haul, but the book haul I just filmed was a collective book haul of books that I have acquired ever since January. And when I filmed it, I hadn't just recently bought a bunch of books. I had recently bought one book, I believe. So since then, I have acquired more books, so I thought I'd film another book haul. So the first book I'm going to show you is Among the Hidden by Margaret Peterson Haddix. I read this book in grade 6 and I absolutely loved it. I was obsessed with this book. I actually tried making like a movie based on it with my friend, which was awful. I loved this book and then I didn't have it anymore. I lost it somehow, I guess, when I moved, because my family moved while I was away at school. So I didn't pack any of my stuff up, and I have a feeling they got rid of a bunch of my books. So there's a whole bunch of books that I am missing from that point. But there are also books that I still have, like I still have all my Harry Potter books that I had then. So I don't understand. I guess they just figured I only wanted to keep my Harry Potter books and that was it, and they got rid of my other books. But this was one of them. This was at my boyfriend's book sale at his work. And so I got it for 50 cents. I was like, oh my god, it's this book! I need to own this again. I also got A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray from my boyfriend's used book sale as well, so I paid only 50 cents for this. I kind of wanted to read this when people were talking about it way back in the day when I first started BookTube, but then I got The Diviners by Libba Bray and I did not like that book at all and I couldn't finish it, so then I wanted to read this less. But I didn't dislike the writing of The Diviners, I just didn't like the story and the way the story was like kind of being unraveled, I guess. So I figured for 50 cents it doesn't hurt to try this out. I also got Sideways Stories from Wayside School by Louis Satcher, which we read in elementary school in grade 3? I want to say grade 3, but I'm not positive. And I don't remember anything about it, I just remember the title and that I liked it, and this was in the used section at my friend's bookstore, so I had to pick this up. But the rest of the books are new, and I got them all from my friend's bookstore. So the first one here is The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery by Gabrielle Zevin. I have wanted to read this book for a very long time, but I was always putting it off because I don't like this cover. I like the UK cover better, and then I finally decided to just get it in Canada. I also got Another Day by David Levithan, which is the companion novel to Every Day. I have filmed a review for Every Day. I don't know if it's going to be up or not by the time this video goes up. I have a lot of pre-filmed book reviews because I've been reading a lot of books this year, and I've been trying to space them out between other types of videos because for some reason book reviews seem to be everyone's least favorite video because nobody watches them. So if I do have my book review for Every Day up by this point, I will link it up there for you and in the description, and if I haven't put up the book review for it yet, then watch out for it because it'll be up in the near future. I also got When It's Real by Erin Watt. I read the arc of this in February and I did a review of it, which I will leave up there for you. I love this book so very, very much. It just warmed my heart and put me in such a good mood, took me away into a wonderful world where famous pop stars date regular non-famous people, and it was a wonderful, fun story to be a part of. And so I pre-ordered this from my friend's bookstore as well, and the publisher took forever to send it to them, so I got this super late. But I have it now in my possession, and I really like the cover. This is the same cover that it was on the ARC, but this one, the text is raised, which just makes it much nicer. I don't know if you can tell, but I love it. I don't like the cover is very, very cute, but it has absolutely nothing to do with the story. Which is annoying, but whatever. I also got The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I've heard nothing but good things about this, and it just sounds like a very important story that also I've heard is very, very well written. So not only is it a very important story, but it's really well told. So I figured I should pick this up and give this a go. I'm sure I'll love it. And the last book that I have here is Made You Up by Francesca Zappia, and the reason I got this is because my friend who owns the bookstore and her friend, who's my friend too, I guess, got Eliza and Her Monsters in her Owl Crate box, and she absolutely loved it, and she lent it to my friend who owns the bookstore, and she loved it, and she was like, Nat, oh my god, you're gonna love this book. So then she's letting me borrow it, and I'm going to be reading it very, very soon. I have 2 other books that I have to read first, because I already planned them and put them in a TBR video. And then once I've read those, then I'm going to read this. And this is the same person who wrote Made You Up, and they both wanted to try Made You Up out, and I have wanted to read this for a while, so I decided to get this. The only thing that bugs me is the very beginning, the first page. It talks about how the main character has lobster red hair, and she loves seeing the lobsters at the grocery store in the tank because they're red like her hair. And lobsters are not red until you cook them. Have you ever been to a grocery store and seen lobsters in a tank? They're not red. I also used to live in PEI where we used to go down to the ocean and get lobsters, big lobster traps, and then we'd put them in a cooler and take them home. And they'd be all like, you know, lobstering in the cooler. And then we'd cook them, and then they were bright red after we cooked them. But I still really wanted to read it anyway. I just thought it was funny and it bugged me. It bugged me a lot, mostly, that nobody caught that. Maybe there's an explanation to that later in the book as to why that's wrong, hopefully, but either way, I just felt like mentioning it. So those are all the books that I have acquired in the recent past, and that is all. Have a great day. Bye!